Hi TriState, welcome to Facebook Live Friday. This week we're really excited because we have Vonda Cooper, our operations manager, with us. We'll give you a couple seconds to get on here and build our viewership, I guess. Remember that if you're driving, we ask that you would please wait until you are stopped to watch this. This video will be available for you to go back and see. But I guess we'll go ahead and get started. As you get on, just make sure that if you have any questions, to go ahead and submit them.
Thanks, Riley. It's my pleasure to participate in TriState's Facebook Live event, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions that you guys might submit. Communication with the fleet is important to all of us here at TriState, whether it be load information, general sharing like these Facebook events, or more importantly, listening. In previous broadcasts, the Driver Council was mentioned. We learned from our first Driver Council meeting that one of the biggest driver challenges is good customer contact information and correct directions. Historically, we had not done a good job at keeping those updated with current information, so we listened and we went to work. And I'm pleased to report that directions and long lats have been verified on 75% of our top shipping and receiving accounts. We now begin the process of entering this information into the computer. And I'm sure most of you have noticed the words dispatch instructions clear with a yes or no prompt on your macro 3 and your macro 7. We do ask that you report if the directions are correct. If they're not correct, help us by offering more clear directions. When you check no, indicating the customer information is incorrect, your message will be sent to our CSR leaders for corrective action, and you have my assurance that we will follow up on these issues. Remember this one very important fact: you guys, the drivers, are the frontline customer service agents for this company. Should you encounter any issues, call in and let us handle it. You are who the customer sees and interacts with first, so represent us well. Have any questions, Riley?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Well, then let's talk a minute about freight distribution and load planning. We don't have a forced dispatch policy with our owner-operator fleet, but we do strongly encourage you to accept our recommendations. This is to benefit both you and our company. As we have suggested on numerous occasions, the owner-operators on our Trust Us program are generally right at the top of the weekly revenue list. Our problems arise when an owner-operator consistently turns down loads, refuses to haul a certain commodity like waste, or refuses to enter a certain part of the country. In those cases, we spend thousands of dollars deadheading company capacity to cover those loads. We do respect the fact that you are true business partners and not employees, but this has to be a team effort. So owners, before you turn down the next load, simply ask your driver manager what could be planned next, following the objectionable load to make the whole package more attractive. Working together, seeing opportunities and not problems will only serve to make us all more profitable. Anything yet?
No.
Okay, we'll move on. We'll talk about TriState and women in trucking. TriState leads the way in equal opportunity and equal pay for women. TriState is now a proud member of Women in Trucking. For those of you not familiar with this organization, the Women in Trucking organization is a nonprofit organization with the mission to encourage the employment of women in the trucking industry, promote their accomplishments, and minimize obstacles faced by women working in the industry. According to an article in trucks.com, female drivers make up only 5.1% of the total truck driving force in the United States. That number continues to grow nationally, and currently 30% of TriState's drivers are women. I believe that women are attracted to TriState because of the company's guaranteed pay program, great home time policy, and family-friendly atmosphere. Still no questions?
We have one. It's not necessarily related to women in trucking, although that is very important.
Okay.
They say, it's Jason Matthews. He says, can we amend the instructions to show both empty and loaded miles, please? I'm not sure that really...
I can check.
Okay.
I'll get with Chris Stevens after the call and see if that's an option for us.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. The holiday seasons are fast approaching. And with that, I would like to remind you to get your home time requests in early. But also remember, we will have good paying freight available for those who prefer to work right up to and through the holidays. Commerce doesn't stop during Thanksgiving and Christmas, so it can be a great time to work and generate a nice paycheck. TriState will also be offering several opportunities for us to share with our community during the holiday season. You'll be receiving information over the next few weeks about our food drive for We Care of the Four States, which is the Dunawig, Missouri Food Bank. We will also participate in a toy drive for the Dunawig Fire Department. And last but not least, you can shop for a Missouri Baptist Children's Home resident. Let's not forget we're blessed to work for a great company, each of us being well compensated for our roles within TriState, while others are not so fortunate. Again, there'll be more on that to follow soon. Anything else?
Diana Palmer, she says, are there added holiday incentives?
Not that I'm aware of, other than just the generation of freight revenue. I don't know if Diana's an owner or company driver, but there's certainly opportunities all the way right up to the holiday and through the holiday for both. I mentioned earlier that we have the option to view problems as opportunities. Without problems, opportunity is never created. Don't lay blame or point fingers. As co-workers, drivers, and office staff, our challenge is to use each problem as a step toward improvement. No single one of us has all of the answers, and collectively, from all of our different perspectives, we can solve anything. That's what I have prepared, if there are no questions.
For some of our viewers who are just now getting on, they are asking if you'll go over just a little bit that we covered in the beginning. I know they can go back, but like if there's any highlights, just to go over those one more time.
I think the main high points of what I talked about was the communication, and that we did listen, and we know that there are problems with our directions and our customer instructions. We're addressing that and have verified 75% of our top shipping and receiving accounts, the information for those, and we're going to begin the process of getting that all in the computer. And then you've also probably already seen the dispatch instructions clear yes/no question on your macro 3, which is your depart shipper, and your macro 7, which is your empty call that you send at receiver. If you don't like the directions, if you have an adjustment to them, put a no that it's not correct, but we do need your support in helping us get those correct. You would be surprised how many people we talk to that can't tell us how they got to work, let alone give us a good truck direction. So you guys are out there and you can do better than anybody at getting those updated correctly. I also talked a little bit about the freight distribution and load planning early, and just asking for the owner-operators to consider what might be next. If they don't like a load that's planned on them, ask your driver manager what might be next behind it, so maybe the package is attractive and sends you to a good area so we can all generate more revenue. To deadhead company trucks in to cover freight where an owner won't cover it is just costly for all of us. And then I touched a bit on the women in trucking, and that 30% of TriState's drivers are women, compared to nationally 5.1%. So that's something that we should all be really proud of. And if any of the ladies out there would like more information on women in trucking, or even you gentlemen, you can join. There's no gender bias in this. We would like to certainly hear from you, and I'd be glad to let you know how you can get involved.
Before we end here, Michael Meredith said you're one of the nicest ladies to work for here. So.
Well, Michael, I'll slip you that 20 later.
All right. Thank you, TriState, for joining in. We'll see you next week when we should have John Wilbur with us. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.